Well, hello again, and welcome back to Mill Creek Range. I'm Benji, your host, and today I wanted to bring out my first 4570. I bought this gun, so this is a 1895 Marlin. So it's a Marlin 1895 GBL. This is not the Ruger-built Marlin. This is the Remington-built Marlin, what people would call the Remlins. And I know I've heard horror stories of how bad these production guns were. I haven't had that issue. I don't know if I just luck of the draw got a good one, but the fit and finish of the wood to the frame is, to me, great. There's no, it's very a good transition. So it's ran good for me. I've had this, trying to think back, I probably have had this firearm probably the past, I'll say 6, maybe 7, maybe 8 years. I really need to look back inside of my loading data because that would kind of tell me. But I bought this gun on a trip me and my wife was heading up to, and also grandson, was heading up to Sevierville, Tennessee for a funeral of my great uncle. And a little bit of history up on my great uncle right quick, because it's duly noted. He was a paratrooper in the 101st Airborne Division, the Screaming Eagles during World War II. And he was in his 90s. And anyway, he passed away. And we always visited them when we would be up there inside of the Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. And always great. I mean, from just as a young child, always listened to his stories. And now on D-Day, he was actually stationed in London. He was actually a guard for, I think it was General Patton. But anyway, he was based in his jumps and everything was over inside of Europe, Holland area. That side of the forces. But anyway, he spent his entire time there inside of the 101st Airborne Screaming Eagles. And when the war was over, when he came home, he brought his reserve parachute back with him. When he got stateside, his reserve parachute had either been lost or stolen. Anyway, and a good buddy of his that he had spent inside of the war with, he had his reserve parachute as well. And he took that parachute and he took his knife and he cut that parachute down the middle and gave Uncle Fred half of his reserve parachute. Now, at this time, my uncle wasn't married. So anyway, but he was engaged to be married. And so anyway, he brought that reserve parachute back home. It was made out of 100% pure silk. He gave that material to his fiancée, and she made her wedding dress out of that parachute. And they actually came to their house, I don't know, maybe 15 plus years ago, done a write-up on the story, and they donated that dress to the 101st Airborne Division Museum, which is based out of Kentucky, there at Fort Knox, Fort Campbell actually. And anyway, that dress is on display there now. So just a quick story about my great Uncle Fred Short. And anyway, on the way up, we stopped by this convenience store that also has a outdoor center in it. I had been wanting one of these guns, and just so happened they had one. I was sort of looking for the stainless steel model, the SBL, but they had this one here inside of the GBL model, and I liked it. Had a good price to it, and I went ahead and put a down payment on it. And then on the way back, since we were crossing back in the state line, so when we came back across to the Alabama line, stopped back by, paid for it, picked it up, took it home. And so it's again, Marlin 1895 GBL, chambered in 4570. It's the guide gun. It's got the big loop lever on it. It is unloaded. It's got the big loop lever. I did put one of my old slings on it. Do have some Hornady Leverution. I think these are 300 and some odd grain projectiles. They pack a punch. And then I have some that I have loaded up myself, and the ones that I've loaded up here, I've got them loaded up with their 405 grain cast, and I think those are Missouri Bullet Company bullets, and I loaded them up with 37.5 grain of IMR 4198 powder. So we'll be shooting some of these here shortly. So stick around, and we'll be putting some lead down ranges here shortly. Be right back. Okay, so we'll put a few rounds down range here. We'll see how it goes. It's been a long while since I fired this gun, though. I will admit that it has been a while. That'd be a hit. There we go. Make them swing. Should be the last one. Okay. 5 shots, 5 hits. All right. Man, packs a punch too. Those are 405 grain. So they do pack a punch. Let's load up again. Try some more. Okay, so load it up again and see how this next round does. Again, I haven't shot this gun in quite some time. Never run black powder through it though. These are all smokeless loads. The 95 to me, I just don't want to get black powder into the action of this receiver. The 73s, they're really easy to clean to me. These here, a lot more to it, so I stick strictly smokeless loads with this type of action here, like on the Winchester Model 94 and then this Marlin 95. Okay. Ring it. Ah, my first miss. That was a small plate. They pack a punch. One more. I'll take that plate to the far right. Ah, man. Don't have much more of my shoulder to take of that. Good thing this thing's got a big Packmeyer rubber grip on the end of it. Man, pack a punch. It's a good shooter. It's one I wanted to take hog hunting. Well, okay. I was wanted to do a short video on the Marlin 1895. Again, this is the Remington built Marlin, and to me, I've had no issues. The action on it is, I'd say, for an off-the-shelf bought gun, action is good and slick. It could use a little bit of, we'll say, smoothing up some, but in all reality, the action is, to me, good. No problem. It does have a cross bolt safety, and I mean, the sights to me are good. It came with the option to put a Pickaninny rail up on top. I just don't like a optic mounted on a lever gun. I prefer my iron sights. It shoots good. It sights in easy. I've had zero problems with it, and I can't really knock it. Now I know the new Ruger made Marlins, they are somewhat, from what I've seen, smoother, but price is way on up there now. But anyway, it is what it is. I like it. It suits me, and that's all that really matters inside of my book. If it shoots good, and I like it, I can't knock it. So, hope you've enjoyed this episode of Mill Creek Range, and keep your powder dry. Hope to see you up on down the trail sometime. Benji out. See you then.